AITA for ruining my sister's proposal by telling everyone the truth? I'm a 20-year-old college student who went home for Christmas. My older sister Kaylee, 26, has always been the golden child. She's smart, successful, and has this magnetic personality that makes people adore her. Growing up, I admired her so much, but as we got older, I started seeing the cracks. Kaylee is determined, let's say. When she wants something, she'll go to great lengths to get it. Her boyfriend, Jake, is 28 and probably one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. He's laid back, a little shy, and not the type of person who thrives under pressure. They've been dating for about 4 years now, and while they seem happy on the surface, I've noticed little things that don't sit right. Kaylee has always been very vocal about wanting to get married. For the past year, it's been all she talks about. I've heard her complain to our mom about how Jake just doesn't get it. She'd drop hints to him constantly, wedding Pinterest boards, casually bringing up bridal magazines, and pointing out engagement rings whenever they passed a jewelry store. But I never thought she'd take it further than that. That was until Christmas Eve. It started when Jake pulled me aside at my grandma's cabin. Everyone else was in the kitchen prepping dinner or playing board games, so it was just the two of us in the living room. I could tell something was up because Jake looked stressed out. His face was pale, and he kept wringing his hands like he didn't know how to start. Finally, he said, "I need your advice." Now let me tell you, Jake and I aren't super close. We get along fine, but he's always been more of a quiet observer at family gatherings, and we've never really had heart-to-hearts. So I was caught off guard. I told him, "Sure, what's up?" That's when he dropped the bombshell. Jake explained that Kaylee had given him an ultimatum, proposed by the end of the year, or she was walking away. I could hardly believe it. He said Kaylee had even gone as far as buying her own engagement ring and handing it to him. She told him exactly how and when she wanted the proposal to happen, down to the location and timing. She said I should propose at Christmas dinner. Jake confessed, his voice barely above a whisper. She said it'd be perfect because the whole family would be there, and she wanted everyone to see it. I stared at him, waiting for some kind of punchline, but it never came. Instead, Jake looked at me with this desperate expression, like he was hoping I'd tell him what to do. I couldn't hide my reaction. "Jake, that's not normal," I said. "An ultimatum? And she bought her own ring? That's not how proposals are supposed to work." He nodded, his shoulders slumping. "I know. I just don't know what else to do. She said if I don't do this, she's leaving, and I don't want to lose her. But I'm not ready. I wanted to propose on my own terms when it felt right. I felt so bad for him. He looked trapped, like he was being backed into a corner with no way out. I told him I thought it was unfair for Kaylee to pressure him like this, especially about something as important as marriage. But Jake just shrugged and said, "I love her, and I don't want to risk losing her over this. Maybe she's right. Maybe I'm just taking too long." I wanted to shake him and tell him to stand up for himself. But at the same time, I knew it wasn't my place to interfere. So I just told him to think about what he wanted and not let anyone force him into a decision he wasn't ready for. He nodded, but I could tell he'd already made up his mind. Fast forward to Christmas dinner. We were all gathered around the table at my grandma's cozy little cabin. It was picture perfect. Snow outside, a roaring fireplace, delicious food, and everyone laughing and sharing stories. After dessert, Jake suddenly stood up. My stomach dropped because I knew exactly what was coming. Jake started this shaky little speech about how much he loved Kaylee and how he couldn't imagine his life without her. Then, right on cue, he got down on one knee and pulled out the ring. Kaylee gasped, covering her mouth like she couldn't believe it. Tears started streaming down her face as she said yes, and the room erupted into cheers and applause. Everyone was clapping, crying, and congratulating them. My mom was dabbing at her eyes with a napkin, and my dad gave Jake a hearty pat on the back. Even my grandma, who's usually pretty reserved, looked genuinely thrilled. And then there was me, sitting there, feeling like I was watching a play where everyone except me had missed the rehearsal. It wasn't just the proposal itself that bothered me. It was Kaylee's reaction. She kept gushing about how completely surprised she was and how Jake was the most romantic man ever. She even turned to me at one point and said, "Can you believe it? I had no idea he was planning this." That's when I snapped. Before I could stop myself, I blurted out, surprised, "You literally forced him to propose and gave him the ring yourself." The room went silent. Dead silent. Jake's face was a mix of shock and relief, like he was glad someone finally said it, but didn't expect it to happen like this. Kaylee, on the other hand, looked like I'd just slapped her. Her face went pale, and then she burst into tears and ran out of the room. My mom shot me the dirtiest look I've ever seen and followed her. My dad just shook his head and muttered, "Unbelievable." The rest of the family sat there in awkward silence, not knowing what to do. I felt a mix of anger, guilt, and regret, but mostly anger. Why was I the bad guy for telling the truth? After a while, Jake came up to me privately and thanked me. He said he'd been feeling trapped and didn't know how to handle the situation. But even he admitted that I probably should have waited to bring it up in private instead of airing it out in front of everyone. Now my whole family is mad at me. My mom keeps saying I ruined Kaylee's big moment and that I embarrassed her in front of everyone. Kaylee hasn't spoken to me since and refuses to come out of her room. When I tried to apologize, I still don't think I was wrong. She told me to leave her alone. I don't know what to do. Jake seems relieved that the truth is out, but now I'm the villain in everyone else's eyes. Was I wrong to call her out? Should I have just kept quiet and let everyone believe the fairy tale? I didn't mean to hurt her, but I couldn't sit there and let her pretend like it was this perfect, romantic moment when I knew it was all orchestrated. So, Reddit, AITA for ruining my sister's proposal by telling everyone the truth?